Welcome.
And welcome.
Well, to the DNA Sportscast. I almost said podcast.
Yeah.
I almost said podcast. I've done that a few times.
Thank God you didn't get that mixed up because people wouldn't know what they're here for.
Yeah, nah.
We're
here for sport
Lord.
and sport only.
Just letting you guys know, don't worry, this isn't a standard podcast. It's all right.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to everything you need when it comes to Premier League anyway.
So, Daniel, how's your love life?
Love life's great. Let's talk about something else. Now that I think about it, how about we make this a podcast? Let's not talk about United at all whatsoever. Believe me, you don't want to hear what I have to say. You don't want to hear what I have to say about what I witnessed. No.
They might not, but I do. Okay. So
go on, shoot.
A few big games. We got City and their red card. We got United losing to Aston Villa in good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, you're really watching yourself,
City,
aren't you? You're really watching yourself, Hayden.
You got Arsenal beating Chelsea. Got the Spurs, Liverpool. There's a lot of big games.
A lot of great games, man. A lot of really, really well contested games, I think. And too bad, United are on the wrong side of it, but I think this week was quite a slow week, mate. I think we saw the best out of some teams. We saw the worst out of some, So I think, Aston Villa looks revitalised under Goodebening, Unai Emery. He's come there and he's proving a point, and he looks like he's gotten off to a great start, and I think he chose his team beautifully, and some of their players, individually, played the best games they've played for Aston Villa. One being Leon Bailey.
Bailey
killed it, man. He killed it. Ramsey
very good.
Had a good gig as well, even though unfortunate to cop an own goal, though. Just Shaw with a Hail Mary shot and somehow ended up in. That was a cheap consolation goal.
He made up for it not long after.
Man,
good finish, top bins, no unmarked on the edge of the box.
There's nothing worse than that. You don't feel any more helpless in a football game, just watching a player with his impending effort on goal, and it's just it's just going to hit the back of the net. Bro, that was so hurtful. That was the space, and I'm just thinking, how do we get open? We just got peeled open, and I feel like we just lost track of everything that was going on. It was on a counter as well, so I think we just tried to chase the game a bit too much in the second half, and we got punished for it.
Yeah, it was you were 2-0 down within 11, 12 minutes, so you're just on the back foot from then, chasing the games. Beautiful strike from Digne, by the way.
Digne, that was his first game in a while, man, and he
just came back from injury, I think. That's his first goal for Villa as well, I believe.
I don't think he was selected by Steven Gerrard. I think there's something to do with him Digne being at Everton or something. Hence why it's you played for Everton, did ya? You're not playing. You're not playing. It's come on, Stevie
not
G.
paying.
You know what though? He made, obviously, Stevie G didn't make the right decision in not playing him, but
good goal. I'm pretty
he may have been injured.
I'm pretty sure that's his first goal for Villa.
Oh yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
He was a random signing from Everton.
I think he's a really good player.
I think so too, but I think it was a couple of months there at Everton where because Frankie came in.
Was he still there when Frank came in?
I think he got offloaded soon after or before or something or other.
Around then,
after Ancelotti left. Yeah, there was a bit of with Digne.
Remember when Ancelotti was at Everton? And you had James Rodriguez feeding Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah,
they were up near. They were in the top 4 for a little bit.
That was a good. Yeah, that was a decent squad.
To think that was only a few years ago.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
Crazy.
So I feel like Digne. That's after one game, but he still has his touch. So
looks alright.
It was. Yeah, I think there was a lot of positives for Villa to take out of that game. They played very well in the first 20 minutes. Unplayable. I don't think that United should be a team that allows for teams to play like that. I think we are too big to sit back on a Villa. I think we were just trying to we were just on damage control from the very start. Villa came out firing, and we really struggled to get in the game, and they within a blink of an eye, Villa were up 2-0.
Yep. Any positives?
For United,
Donny started.
Donny didn't. I don't think
Garnacho started. Ronaldo got the captaincy for the first time. First time, I'm pretty sure.
So, he's been captain. He's been captain previously. Yeah,
maybe first in the Premier League.
I'm not too sure. But it's definitely a surprise. It was definitely a surprise.
Yeah. Martial sitting on the bench.
Yeah. I think. Look, first off, I want to start with Garnacho. He's still got time. Still very young, though.
Yeah.
He looked a little lost at points, and he wasn't as sharp as what he was in Europa League midweek, though. He looked promising, and I was right. I mentioned last episode he should be starting, though. Anthony didn't play. I think that was a player we were missing majorly as well.
Yeah.
Anthony is a hard worker. He knows the Ten Hag game very well, and I feel like if he was playing, the game would have been a little different. I think that the way Villa transition would have been a bit different too. They just found it too easy to run through us. I think with Rashford on the right, he did okay, but I reckon I think he's not bad as like a creative midfield. Sorry, not a creative midfielder, a creative winger. Like he actually does really well with setting up opportunities, and he runs into the box for the crosses too, which is great. Which you expect out of like a winger that you want to be aggressive. So I think the starting 11 we had was good enough. Donny, I think he was just lost as well. He doesn't know what position he wants to play in. So look, it wasn't as much of a rant as I thought this would be. No, you have to be constructive, and I feel like there is plenty to learn still. Plenty to learn. I think it was a nice little wake-up call for us.
Yep. Well,
that's it.
All right, next game, let's see. Let's talk about... I want to touch on Manchester City. Scraping a 2-1 win. Penalty right at the end to Haaland. Can I just say, Manchester City ruined my FPL this week. Because I didn't think Haaland would play, so I benched him. He ended up coming on, scoring the penalty. Also... Andreas Pereira, who converted Fulham's penalty. He was sitting on my bench as well. And last but not least, Cancelo started for me and got a red card.
Oh my God, you had a nightmare, man.
Long day for my FPL.
You lost out on a lot of points. That is horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh no, mate. Well, you don't. Yeah. Well, Haaland picked up a knock midweek, didn't he? He picked up a knock. You should have known, mate.
He didn't play midweek.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they were going to risk him, but it looked like it ended up. They needed it. He even scored just by marginally offside just before the penalty.
Do you feel like he would have come on if City were in that position?
He might have come on
in that position.
Maybe they wanted to test him out. They bring him on for like 10 minutes at the end.
I think they had no choice. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he's like, what else could you have done?
Yeah. They brought him and Foden on to try and change the game. But the crazy thing is, they were man down the whole time. They still kept all possession pretty much. They even managed to have one of the centre backs, and it was Nathan Ake, up next to the striker, next to Alvarez, and it still looked like they were controlling the game perfectly, even a man down and having a defender going forward so much. Like
Fulham were inviting City to play. I don't know why. Like, it's not that I don't know why. Obviously, Fulham understands like the matchup, and they see like, all right, we've got an advantage here. Let's try to see it out. They'll just going to counterattack, though. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't know what to do in that position, managing Fulham either. It's like, do you chase the game? Do you wait for City to make a mistake? And that's exactly what they were doing. And it just, they were waiting for something that was never going to happen. Unfortunately, Fulham just weren't good enough on the day. And well, now Pereira takes Fulham's penalties kick. So now, you can probably... It's probably safe to keep him in there, mate. I think it's safe to keep him in there.
Look. You see them playing Manchester City. I'm not going to start him over the other players I've got, like Maddison, Rashford. Well, Rashford.
That's going to be a question that you can definitely raise.
Anyways, also, can I just put a little bit of praise on Kevin De Bruyne? He played the full 90, won the penalty in the end. There's no one better than him in the Premier League right now, I have to say it. He played the full 90, and I could see the whole last 10, 20 minutes, he was gassed. But he still managed to play it out. I know he'd bolt forward, play a pass, and then all of a sudden, he just stopped dead, and while everyone was attacking. And then even right at the end, he managed to make another run into the box and win the penalty. He was gassed. He won the penalty. He stood up like the sigh of relief on his face, ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like every opportunity he got to run again, he's like, okay, this is my time.
Yeah.
In his head, he's like, shit, here we go again.
Ideally, he would have gotten taken off earlier and gotten given a rest, but he gave everything. That's the reddest I've ever seen his face. I'll just say it like that.
Far out,
and his face gets pretty damn red.
Yeah, like he was like a cherry tomato, mate. Yeah, he was very he always works hard. You can always get that from Kevin De Bruyne. Otherwise, if he's not, you see it. You see how the City's team struggle. But I think that's the case with the whole City team. I think if any of one of them is struggling, you see it. You see it, and Pep sees it very quickly, and he's very quick to just make the change. Yep. He's like, I'm not gonna. If you can't give me 100% today, and I've got someone on the bench eager to come on and make an impact, in which that's what the City whole squad is about. It's just so competitive. So he's got that at his disposal. Lucky for him. So Pep expects that out of his players. And De Bruyne, look, it's safe to say his spot's always going to be safe till the day he doesn't look like part of that team, in which is why you've got these players have to be on top of their game in every aspect, because if they're not, the one thing that they're weakest at will come out. You know what I mean? So they've got, like I said, they've got to be well-rounded players, and that's exactly what he offers Pep's side.
Yep. Well, here's to me hoping, and I think I'm right in saying he's going to get rested against Chelsea in the EFL Cup midweek. So Haaland could start though.
It's.
I don't know. I hope they play a completely B side, but even that's a pretty good damn side. So
I'd give Alvarez I'll definitely.
He's played a few games in a row though. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking Haaland's just coming off injury. Maybe he wants to get some game into his legs. He's not going to be playing all the World Cup. 2 games left. But
I don't think those boys would really be obviously worried, because I'm not too sure Alvarez's position on his national team. But I don't think he's going to be a starter though. Yeah, I think they're both just really hungry to play, and you see it, and it could be anyone playing against Chelsea midweek. So let's go. So I think we've got to have a look at the next couple of cup games as well. Though before that, how do you want to do, Saden?
Firstly, we'll just quickly touch on a couple more of the games.
Yeah. Because
we had Leeds coming back from a 3-1 deficit to win 4-3.
Yeah, it was a monster effort. That was in the last 30 minutes, no?
Yeah, Jesse Marsch holding onto his job for just a little bit longer.
Those boys must really want to play for him.
Yeah, they want to play for him, because that's a huge comeback.
Yeah,
that's what the Premier League's all about, that one.
I think
Somerville scored a few winning goals the last couple of weeks. 2 winning goals, I think.
He has. He won.
Winner against Liverpool. Winner here.
And have cherries too. So, but that's why you employ these sorts of managers, to bring in players you feel like from training can create an impact.
Yep. What else we got? We got Said Benrahma with an unreal strike.
Yeah,
that was Crystal Palace, but then Vieira's team was able to claw back a 2-1 win right at the very death.
That deflection was it was as bad as the Shaw one, I feel. In the United game, I feel like Palace, I don't know, that those two teams there, you just don't know what's going to happen, and it's I think the result reflects well on the nature of the two teams. It's just came from nowhere, and yeah, West Ham just made the game slip away in the last minute.
Yeah. Then we had Newcastle continuing their amazing form, 4-1 win. They got Chelsea up next. I'm not excited.
I wouldn't be excited either, mate. I wouldn't be excited either. I think you've really got to be careful about that team.
And speaking of Chelsea, 1-0 loss to the mighty Gunners.
Well,
it looked like Arsenal was in amazing form. You talked earlier in the United game about watching an impending shot on goal. I watched many of them, and one of them was not the one that eventually went in, because that was, I don't know, three of our players completely missed the ball. Cucurella was holding on to Xhaka like, I don't know, like he was a girlfriend about to leave him or something. Like,
dude,
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, bro. Yeah, it looks like they're just broken up, and Cucurella just didn't want to let him go. I don't know.
Clingy girlfriend right there.
Yeah, well, his head almost makes him look like one. Anyway, I'm only kidding. There's
not much I can say about it, to be honest. They just outplayed us. We looked like the chemistry in attack wasn't there. There was a few chances where Havertz and Aubameyang just looked like they weren't on the same wavelength. You know,
at all.
They were like
the whole game.
There was a few chances where it's like, if they were just switched on, maybe with a bit more chemistry, could have been a goal there, but and the defense looked weak, to be honest, with the injury list: Chilwell, Reece James, Koulibaly, Fofana, Kante.
Nah, I don't know, man. I feel like
maybe with a few more of those players back, we wouldn't have conceded so many chances. But I think, regardless, Arsenal's on a different level this season. They're taking it to City.
I think it's got to do with Arsenal, but it's got to do with you guys too. I think you guys played really well defensively. I think you guys locked them out beautifully. Yeah. I think Mendy looked questionable for some moments, but you guys didn't look to advance at all. You couldn't. You're right. There was no linkage between Aubameyang and Havertz and whoever else. Like Havertz gave away I don't know what it was. It was a shot or a corner. But I thought
that was a big chance there, yeah.
I thought it was trying to do some cute shit there early on. But apart from that, if we're just looking at the defense at the moment, I think you guys did really well in terms of your injury list. And I think you guys did really well to keep Arsenal out. Because how many attempts Arsenal had versus you guys was ridiculous.
I think they had about 14 shots, 2 on target.
So
something like that.
But that's got to do with defensive pressure. That's just not all the keeper, you know what I mean? There's only 2 of them there on target. The rest is coming from the boys that are taking the places of the injured players. So I think this could do some well for Chelsea, but it's just like that front. It's the front third that needs addressing. The midfield, Kovacic not playing as well,
came off the bench.
Yeah,
he's been forced to play a lot of games lately. So
of course you want to rest him.
That
was a big. I reckon you should have managed to get him in the team somehow, but obviously you've had some big games recently.
Yeah.
I feel like Chelsea, there is a lot more to come, and I think that.
Hope so.
Yeah, I think it's just a linkage up forward, and just need more consistency out of Havertz. Havertz needs to show the potential that he came to show off, you know, and Aubameyang, I don't know about his we questioned whether you'd take Ronaldo or Aubameyang, and I think at this point in time, it's Ronaldo didn't play well against Villa. He wasn't really amongst it at all, and obviously he's dropped off a bit. Though I feel like Aubameyang and Ronaldo, I'd pick Ronaldo. So I wonder what's going to happen in January. Let's see if Aubameyang's going to be relied upon, whether this is going to be, he's over the hill now. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. He definitely looked it against Arsenal, though. He definitely looked it. I don't think he looked great
on my
at all.
Chelsea career mode, I signed Ronaldo and sold Aubameyang, so.
Yeah, well, I think, what fucking game mode, mate. I could bring Messi and Ronaldo in one team together in a matter of one window.
Anyway, I'll quickly tell you the scores after the last week's predictions. You, my friend, got 6 correct out of 10. Not bad.
Another 6.
Another
That's good.
6. I got 5.
Okay.
And if you remember, I was 1 point ahead. So we are now level on points.
I didn't get no correct scores this week.
No, neither of us got correct scores.
They'll tight though. I think we predicted pretty tight. It was like if we predicted like a 2-2. I predicted Tottenham, Liverpool 2-2, and it ended up going 2-1.
Yeah,
so
close ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's steadying. The Premier League is starting to steady a bit now.
Yeah.
So the start of the season is a bit different.
Yeah, we're both on 37 points each.
And you know what? When's the next plot of games now? Like
there's
after
one more
that,
week,
there's one more
game week, and then the World Cup.
So we got one more game week, and then we've got the World Cup.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So we'll have a break for a little bit with the Premier League, and then I guess we'll just get into the World Cup and talk about that.
Yeah.
And we'll have like a whole episode about, the teams, dark horses, best players coming into it, like, potential golden boys, or golden boys. So we'll
young players on.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be, we're coming in for an interesting month now. And I think, I don't know, like the mid-season, I think this is where players really start to get their groove. So maybe we'll get a lot of good results. Yeah. Different results that we're not used to. But let's see what happens. Anyway, I was going to touch on Australia again, but I'm not going to at the moment.
We'll save it.
We'll save it.
Yeah.
So, it's 37 all now.
37 all.
Yeah, 37 all. The game's predicted. That's good.
Quickly run through midweek games. We've got the EFL Cup.
We've got better homes and gardens going on behind us, mate.
Yeah, I know.
God damn. Far out, mate.
Someone's cutting the lawns.
Yeah, I thought that was a Sunday job, mate.
It's definitely a Sunday job. I don't know. I don't know what's happening on a Monday here.
Maybe the bloke works weekends. I don't know. Well, that's all right. We'll work with it.
I'll just quickly touch on the big games. Let's see. We've got Bournemouth, Everton. Not really a big game.
Bournemouth, Everton.
Newcastle Palace.
Yeah. Newcastle winning that.
Well,
we don't know.
The thing about this is that everyone's going to rest their players. Everyone's going to get rested. Not everyone, but some. Like Tottenham Forest.
I think
they're going to rest. They're going to rest Kane. They're going to rest.
I think Newcastle goes for this game. I think they go for. I think they start with a strong team because. Yeah. That realistically this year, like I don't know, in terms of domestic titles, like that's their best chance at glory.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at games that aren't Premier League team versus Premier League team, something different. Let's see, you got Leicester Newport. Fair enough. Brentford Gillingham.
Yeah, I think this is when all the shitter teams get culled. Sorry, not shitter teams.
Southampton Sheffield Wednesday.
True,
but then you got West Ham.
That's all you can get from me. True,
yeah,
nice.
True. Like, yeah, it's cool. This is where teams, Premier League teams, rest their players, and the lower league teams try to show what they're made of.
Let's see. I don't think it's gonna be.
Then you got a bunch of Premier League games. You got Arsenal, Brighton. You got Wolves, Leeds. You got Manchester City versus Chelsea.
There we go. That seems like the highlight.
But I think both. I don't know what to think because I think both teams rest a lot of players.
I guess it just depends on who they're playing.
I think De Bruyne gets rested. I think De Bruyne definitely gets rested. He's the one stands out for me.
Rodri.
I think Kovacic probably gets rested.
And
so Thiago Silva gets rested. I think a lot of people get rested, so this could be two very.
You reckon Thiago Silva gets rested?
Yeah, he's played every game.
Who takes his place?
He's played every game. Chalobah and I think Koulibaly's very close to coming back from injury. I don't know if I'd risk that, but
I don't know who I'd rather risk if I'm honest.
Azpilicueta can play there. You got Cucurella can play centre back.
He had a pretty fucking decent game.
Yeah,
he had a pretty decent game against Arsenal. I'm just gonna mention. I thought he's surprising me still, Azpilicueta. He really
I think you could probably afford to have like Pulisic filling in a wing back.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how City's going to line up. Maybe Calvin Phillips finally gets a game.
Yeah, well there you go. I think
he injured?
Yeah, he might be injured still. Actually, I think he might be injured.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think he's playing even at the World Cup, is he?
Look at these injuries: Chilwell, Chukwuemeka as Arrizabalaga, Kante, James, Fofana. Yeah, apparently Koulibaly's back. So
What?
he might get a little run around.
Why are you guys so loud about your injuries?
Because there's a lot of them.
I'm over
There's
it.
a lot of them.
Dude, it's at the end of the day, every club has an injury list.
But look,
and
all right. I'll give you an example. Right? When Chilwell, Reece James, and Kante are fit, we play how we did in the Champions League final. Versus losing to Brighton or losing to Leeds. It's like the way we play, with especially those three fit, world of difference. But the thing you can't have those excuses when you're competing with the likes of City and stuff. But
no.
So I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to make excuses.
Yeah, I was looking. I don't know about that one, mate. No, it's just because. All right, let me put it in this way. United have had several injuries this season alone, and no one's pointing at that as a reason as for us and our inconsistency. We're just looking at it as though like these are the players we have available. Are they good enough? And if they're not, there has to be changes, mate.
Yeah.
So in terms of if these things keep coming up for Chelsea, you guys obviously just have to look.
Yeah, no. We got to deal with it.
Into the transfer market a bit.
Yeah.
In the next window and acquire those for long term. So these talks with Ronaldo isn't going to help you guys long term, obviously.
We don't. The injuries aren't even that much in attack, to be honest.
I know it's not.
It's all defense.
But that's what's been spoken about coming out of.
I don't know what. Honestly, going to January, I don't know what we need.
Oh, you need a centre back for sure.
Maybe
for sure.
Vardiol from Leipzig.
Yeah.
That's a shout.
Let's see.
Centre back will probably maybe one centre back will be good.
Honestly, the market's large.
Back up right back. As Piliqueta's not he got exposed against Martinelli.
Yeah, but for what he offers,
I think he's going to retire in the next couple of years as well. I think. I don't know. But this will be anyway. Chelsea, City. It's going to be both heavily rotated teams. So I don't know. But in saying that, Potter, since he's been in, has done a lot of rotation anyway. Like a lot.
Yeah, no, you figure it out still. I understand that, but it's like all I was saying. All that was from it was just a point of view from the fans. That's it. I'm not saying you guys have to restructure everything now. It's like just saying like when it comes to Chelsea and when it comes to you guys not getting results, we got injuries, we got this, we got that.
No, like you said, you saw the defense was solid still, even with these injuries, but the attack's the problem. There's no injuries there.
Well, that's why.
I'm not like we should still be playing better than we are. I'll put it like that. The biggest ones for me is I would say Kante is the biggest injury, but he's been injured for like most part of the last 2 years. So I'll say Reece James. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. And then any more games? Liverpool Derby.
What do you mean Derby?
Derby County.
Oh, those means like a derby. I'm like, what? They're playing Everton. What do you mean?
No.
What? Yeah, okay. Derby's in the League One, so Liverpool should get it done. Yeah, Liverpool should get that done. And every other game, this is really just a coin toss, really. Arsenal over Brighton, though, I reckon. But let's just see the rest. Yeah. Lovely. Well, that's all the games that are coming up.
That's all the games coming up. We'll do another episode later to do our predictions.
Well, in terms of the league, anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in again, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again later this week.
I thought we'd just throw out a quick episode. I think while it's fresh in our minds, probably a bit easier. And I think this weekend's football was great. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
See you.